What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman here for Stokastic.com, back with the process for Wednesday, June 29th. So be sure to hit that like button. It's my favorite thing in the world, watching that like number climb. Subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman right here. Did I do it right? Nope, wrong side. Right here. Got it. Nope, now I'm not on the screen. Oh, I can just go straight down the middle. Right here. Boom. Okay, that's much better. Now that I know that. We'll never get that wrong again. So follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. And then sign up at PrizePicks. Use the promo code AWESEMO, AWESEMO. Get a 100% instant match deposit bonus of up to $100. You cannot beat it. You're building parlay cards. You can get 10x your entry fee on a 5-pick. We'll say pick because it doesn't have to be people. It could be all sorts of weird stuff. You can play like highlight and disc golf. Obviously, you can get into baseball, NBA, NFL when those seasons are going on. But for now, just go sign up at PrizePicks. Take the bonus, everybody. We've got tools at Stokastic.com that will certainly help you out. Quick breakdown of yesterday. Did not go well in baseball. Down quite a bit. Nothing too crazy. Just your standard issue day. We were heavily exposed to Rodon and Robbie Ray. I can't really complain there. I was never going to get away from Carlos Rodon no matter what was going on. And at 19 fantasy points, like, he was fine. Ray was obviously really good at 29. Was he the best pitcher yesterday? No, but that would go to Patrick Corbin, who spun a gem at 6% ownership. Woodruff, quite good as well. We were neutral there. Marcus Semien was the big hitter. Those are the three guys that went north of 30 fantasy points yesterday. But for us, we faded the chalk once again. No real tie to the Dodgers. Freeman and Muncy were both good, but Taylor, Thompson, Barnes, and Turner, all very minimal-ish ownership outside of Barnes, who cheap catcher. I can't be mad at a 16% owned $2,600 catcher for the Dodgers. So I'm still going to get there, but mostly a fade of the Dodgers. Didn't really matter all that much. We cast a gigantically wide net, and this is something that I haven't liked since we started this. On the monster slates, the player pool to me is just too big. And you're seeing that here with most exposed guys were O'Neal Cruz and Chris Morel, and that was 14%. And we just have this sea of dudes. And I don't really like the way that that's set up. Now, is it affecting me? You know, when I look at these lineups, I think this is a top 2% lineup. This is a top 2% lineup. This is a top 4% lineup. Is it the worst day in the world for just like a 15-game slate? No. You know, down $29, nothing crazy. 38 of 50 cashed. It's whatever. It's a completely neutral day. But I don't like this. I want more concentration. I probably want my most hitters in, like, on a day like yesterday, into like the 25-ish range. Sort of the same way the chalk exists on the slate. So like Trey Turner was the highest owned position player at 30%. The next two highest were like 22, 25. That's what I'm looking for out of my own exposures. I just don't want it to be with the chalk. So I did a bunch of work late last night and then earlier this morning, and I think I have a mechanism that concentrates this a bit more on bigger slates. So we're going to see the player pool shrink a bit because I used 245 guys yesterday. My guess is that's one of the bigger numbers of anybody that played. Yeah, like I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I had the 8th biggest player pool of anybody in the mini-max yesterday. That's not where I want to be. I'd like to get that down. You know, if we look at just 150 maxers, which should be a large chunk of this, 141 150 maxers went from all the way up to 279 players down to, you know, 47, 49, 53. I don't want to get down there, but I probably want to be in this like mid 150s area. And that's going to be what we're shooting for. But I found some tweaks in the crunch process that I think are going to allow me to shrink that either by one of two mechanisms, by reducing my randomness on the crunch or by increasing my fantasy point threshold that each lineup has to cross. Either one of those are going to get there, and figuring out the balance between the two is going to be the real key piece for me. But I don't want to have days like this. I want to start getting these guys up into like the mid 20s instead. Like when I tested it out, for example, Kyle Garlick ended up becoming just like my highest exposed hitter, and he got up into like the 30s, which I don't mind. An outfielder hitting third, 2,500. Was supposed to be relatively highly owned. I don't, well, not like relative, like 7.5% on a 15 gamer is actually pretty big. We're talking about not too far down. Like if I remove pitchers from the ownership, Kyle Garlick was, I don't know, whatever right here is, call it like 20th in ownership. I'm happy to get there. I like that price tag. So that's where we stood for the mini-max. The single entry contest, I don't even really remember what I got in. So that would have been the $25 single entry. I know it didn't go well, and I know I didn't cash. Yeah, the skipper. We'll just show it for right now. Looks like the boss man, Alex Baker, got all the way up to second. Let's check out his lineup. What did he have? Alex had 5-man Twins, 2-man Astros stack. Robbie Ray, Zach Wheeler. Oh, wow. Wheeler recovered. That was looking really bad for Wheeler in those first 2 innings. Ended up getting to 8 Ks. That's annoying. Didn't know he started mowing people down. Bummer. Whatever. Not important for right now. That's the stack that Alex ended up going with. So kudos to him for getting up to second there. I did not have that same luxury. If we check it out, I'm here. Is Adam in this one? No. Elindy, yes. Vlad, Alex, Vlad, the Colts, Vlad, Rinpack, just to see how everybody did. Everybody's finishing ahead of me, that's for sure. No sign of Greg. No 1-800 Eddie. I think that's everybody that I can think of right off the top of my head. If I'm missing somebody, I apologize. But I got dead last. Shit score. 2-man Guardian stack. Rodon, Robbie Ray worked, but bagel. 4 bagels in my hitters. Chavis, Flores, Wisdom, Bichette. Yuck. Grichuk was fine. Steve Kwan, also not ideal. Just a shit lineup across the board. We've got mechanisms in place to slow that down now. But now let's talk about what we're going to look at today. And it's not going to be baseball. I'm not going to be playing the main slate tonight. You guys have the tool that you guys can use to look at contests. And let's pull that over here. It is a Google sheet that exists in the comments of this video. So you can check out baseball today on DraftKings or Yahoo if you would like. What we're going to do today is look at PGA and MMA. And that's going to be PGA Contests for tomorrow, MMA for this Saturday, big UFC pay-per-view. So let's get into it now. Let's take a look at the PGA Contests that we're going to enter. Gigantic PGA slate. This is every contest that is $100 and less and 10K prize pool or higher. And that's a lot. And like some of these, they pay out fantastic. Now, the top 4 contests, the pitch and putt, if you wanted to play the showdown for the live event, the up and down, and the 8-iron, it's going to cost you $1,000 or more, significantly more, to max them. Same for the drive the green and the club twirl. Like, these are all very expensive contests to enter. I would say that the club twirl is probably my favorite contest of all of them. $44 to get in, $704 to max. It's hard, but 53% of the prize pool goes to the top 1%. Slightly reduced rake as well. If you want to say that you would rather get into the up and down, it's going to cost you, almost 4 times as much to do it. Just as good of a contest and more reduced rake. But these are all very hard contests. In theory, the best one that you're going to get into if you have the money is the drive the green. $5 to get in. Massive field, but they pay out 50% of that field to the top 1%. 42 times your buy-in for your average 1% entry. I love the idea of getting into the drive the green if I could. That is probably the place where you get like the most information. It's going to be the biggest prize pool. When you max the drive the green, you're only getting 0.2% of all of the entries. So it's going to be like the softest large field, but at the same time, very, very, very difficult to get to the top. What we're going to be looking at is going to be a little bit further down. Do I want to get in the mini-max and do 75 or do 150 entries? Yes, I do. Do I want to do that more than the birdie? Or even more than the dog leg? Here's the options, really. We're either doing the dog leg and the birdie, Or we can do like the mini max, maybe the albatross, both caddies. Like, there's not a lot on here that I think is bad. The $100 long drive that's bigger. This one has 666 entries. This one has 277. I like the bigger one for sure. You're getting the same sort of reduced rake, but one pays 40% of the prize pool to the top 1%. The other pays 36. I'd rather just have the one that pays out more in the top end. So I would prefer the long drive, or the larger field long drive than the smaller field, which I think is probably counterintuitive to some. I want to play 150 lineups. That's really the thing. More so that I want to play 20 in the birdie, even though the birdie pays out a bit better than the mini max. I just want to have more lineups. So I'm going to enter the mini max because I want to play more lineups. That's just the way that I do this. And they're close enough. 47% to the top 1%, 41 here. It's not the biggest gap. The dog leg is the most interesting if I want to just chase money. That would take me up to $108, which I'm okay with in golf since it's a once a week thing. I could also do like the that's not what I wanted to do. Mini max in. Oh, I don't have to type that button. God, guys, I'm dumb sometimes. Like, legitimately dumb. I could do the albatross along with the mini max. That takes us up to 87. And then we could do like both caddies. Takes us to 97. Something like that. I don't think that's the worst setup in the world. Or we ditch the albatross, we ditch the caddies, and we take one big shot at the dog leg. Better payout structure, more going to the top 1%. Obviously a bit riskier because half of the money that we're putting into the mini max is just the entry to the dog leg. But, we're talking probably like $6K up top for the dog leg if that hits. That's what we're going to do here. $108, dog leg, and mini max. Those are the contests we're going to get into. Let's do that now. Then we're going to talk about UFC. So we're doing 2 today. We want to make sure that we get them in so that everybody can get in these contests. Golf's starting to fill as well. So as we break this down, we're going to say, where's the $33? All right, so there's the dog leg. We're going to get in here just to make sure. Is it 6K up top or is it flatter? Oh, wow. It is 10K up top. Even better. Even better. Let's win that bad boy. Really change the game up. We'll make our placeholder lineup. So let's do... I'm going to do CH3 because I think I took him in one and done. We'll take Todd, Davis, Griffin, Poston, and Doug Gim. And that is our placeholder. Doesn't matter for right now. Lock is early, so be aware of that. But now we can go ahead and finish off our entry. So we're in the dog leg. Look at the mini max. Guys, this is about to fill. So if you're wanting to get in it, now's your chance. Everything else looks like it has a bit of wiggle room, but this mini max is knocking on the door. So 150 entries in, done with PGA. Now we hop over to MMA and big pay-per-view this weekend. Don't want to miss that for sure. If we look at the UFC card, we've got Adesanya, Jared Cannonier at the top. Could be a good fight. I assume Adesanya just sort of picks him apart for 5 rounds or potentially finishes him. Volkanovski, Max Holloway is like, I don't know, arguably the best fight you can make. I wouldn't have a problem with it. Both first 2 fights were fantastic, super close. Really excited to watch these guys go. Strickland Pereira is insane. That's just going to be a war. And, it's not out of the realm of possibility that the winner of this fight is taking on Adesanya in the next one. You get Sean O'Malley, which obviously big draw. Robbie Lawler is in a fight today or on Saturday. Cerrone taking a short notice fight against Jim Miller. Ian Gary is back. I mean, this is just a fun card. Uriah Hall is on the early prelims, which, is whatever. I love this card. Love this card. So can't wait to watch it. Let's talk about the UFC fights about the UFC contests. I do this show with like very little brain power, which is kind of embarrassing. Now, There's not a lot of really good contests today to look at for the UFC. In fact, there are only 10 contests that are less than $100 to get in that pay out more, at least 10K. The biggest contest that you can get in is the giant GPP that always exists. So there's 800K prize pool, 37,000 entries, 3,700 to max. If you have the ability to max it, it is very clearly the best contest you can get into. 60% of the prize pool going to the top 1%. We don't have that. We're not afforded that ability. There's no real way around this. We have basically two options. We can enter the haymaker and the counterpunch, or we can enter the mini max. I'm going to do the haymaker. It's the second best contest in my opinion. $3, 20 max, 24,000 entries. 47% of the prize pool goes to the top 1%. That is the biggest mark of anything that isn't the big contest. It just looks better than the mini max to me by a little bit. And I don't want to go up against 71,000 other entries. A little bit less duplication here as well. It lets you not have to be as crazy. But we're not going to be able to get into the armbar or the hook. Both great contests, by the way. Like, I love the armbar. It's just not made for this particular video series. The fifth round, impossible to get into from a max perspective. If you're into these leaderboard contests, like you can get into the contender leaderboard or the clinch leaderboard. I think the contender leaderboard pays out poorly. I think the regular contender is even worse. 25% of the prize pool to the top 1%, mostly because the top 1% is just simply the top two. You basically either win it or you suck. So the other thing that we're going to do on top of this, while it's not the best payout structure in the world, single entry, 728 total entries, $40 to get in. That puts us smack dab on 100. I'm getting into the counterpunch. Not the best payout structure in the world, but one entry is only 0.14%. So it's a relatively soft contest. It's only 33% to the top 1%. You do get reduced rake, which helps to offset that. You can sort of treat that as a slightly higher prize pool. So that gives us $100, 21 lineups for the MMA contest this week. It's the best that we can do. I was hoping for a slightly better contest. We just didn't get them. So we need to go ahead and get in the haymaker. Not even close to filling right now. So very easy for us to get these lineups in right now. Let's go ahead and get... I definitely want to make sure that I have Max Holloway at 7,200. He's going to be very popular, in my opinion. Let's get O'Malley. Let's get Ian Gary. We'll take Pahea. Then I've got 8,200 remaining. Let's take Duplessis and Turner. And that spends everything. Boom. Done. First lineup in for, or placeholder in for MMA. Make sure you're watching our MMA strategy show and MMA Live Before Lock, which will take place on Saturday. That'll be Pete the Heat and Jason Floyd. They do a fantastic job of breaking all of this down. So you guys don't want to miss that if you're looking for any UFC coverage. And obviously for golf, you're looking at Ben, you're looking at Eric, you're looking at Jason. They've been breaking down golf for a while around these parts. So don't miss PGA strategy, which has already been recorded. PGA Live Before Lock, which will be going off tonight. Check out all of that stuff on our YouTube channel. So we're into the haymaker. We're into the counter punch leaderboard. Is that what it's called? Did I name it wrong? Yeah, I guess it's called the counter punch leaderboard. Whatever. Doesn't matter. We're getting into that contest one way or the other. It's right here. 728 people. Is that the right contest? Yeah. Good. $97. We in. And that's where we stand. We are now entered into MMA for Saturday. We're entered into the PGA for tomorrow. No baseball for me today, although you will see me on the strategy show this morning breaking down tonight's 7-game main slate. So make sure you're checking it out. Thank you once again to PrizePicks for sponsoring this show. Thank you to you guys for watching it. This one ran long. Holy shit, I've been talking for 20 minutes. Let me get out of here. That's the process, everybody. Enjoy it. Back again tomorrow, taking a look at some baseball.